Hi, welcome back. And this time we're going to focus on how to format some of my data into different things. So last time we entered a few different data points, and I mentioned that we'll teach you how to increase and decrease the decimal points. We'll focus on that this time, as well as how to change things like cost of something into dollars, and finally to change things like test scores into percentages so that we can work in more natural formats for things. We're going to get into how to sum and average in the next video, so if you're looking for that, go ahead and skip forward to the next one. Alright, so to start off, notice here that we have 2.3, 2.4, and on, and then at 3.0, even if I try to enter it again, it keeps getting rid of the zero. Now it's really vital in IB as well as other sciences, or IB physics as well as other sciences, that you're keeping the number of decimal points the same. This is important for reporting sig figs as well as precision. So in order to fix that kind of auto correction, where Excel, or in this case Google Sheets, is trying to be nice to you, what you need to do is you can highlight the data that you're going to want to affect in this case, or if it's an entire column and the top one is just a letter and you're only worried about the numbers in there, you can also just click the B up top and it will highlight the entire column. Similarly, you could click a single row and it would highlight that entire row. So I'm going to highlight this column. That means I've selected this entire column all the way down to the 1000th row or whatever it goes to. And I'm going to be changing the number of decimal places. So up here, the zeros with the arrows are two buttons that tell you how to increase and decrease the number of decimal places. So if I click the increase one, what happens is it begins to add extra decimal places. If instead I hit the decrease button, it will decrease the number of decimal places presented. If I go a little bit too far, it just rounds all the things off for me. So in this case, if I went too far, it still saved all of that data. I can see that by clicking on this cell and seeing that it still says 2.6, and even though it is 2.6 as the actual value in there, because I've asked it to, it went ahead and rounded it off to the appropriate decimal place. So I'm going to leave all of those at one decimal place. So that works great for entering data in that sense. If you ever have something that's in dollars, like 275, $2, and 525, you can select that data and do the column selection again. And up here, we can format it as a currency. So in this case, I can actually see the dollar sign next to it, and it'll even put the two decimals for the cents. There are other formats you can choose here for currencies, such as a more financial format, which is using parentheses for negative and things along those lines, or you can even do a custom format if you want. Last thing is if you want to change something like a test score into a percentage, you can highlight those numbers and you can hit the percentage button, and that will actually format it as a percentage. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that if you start off with numbers like 80, 90, and 85, like I have here, when I hit percentage, it's going to convert those numbers into actual percentages, as if they were 80, 90, and 85, meaning times 100 for that. That's why those are really big. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. And so instead, if I have 0.80 listed here, then when I hit the percentage button, it changes it to 80%. So I'm going to change these last two to 0.90 and 0.85. And then at this point, if I hit the column and change it all to percentage, they'll show up as the appropriate percent. Again, if I want to edit the number of decimal places, I can use this button to edit the number of decimal places in that sense. That's it for general formatting. If you ever want to change the kind of font size and text, that's up here, as well as fill in color for the cells, etc. All of those things are there, but not things I'm going to focus on this time.